there. I saw your
Okay,
shadow. I didn't see you.
there you go.
The voices
It's a
you
break for you.
hear, you can tell we've been talking behind your back. This is Karen with newclevelandradio.net, and it's time for What in the World with Paul Seaburn and his sidekick, John DiNallo. It is Tuesday afternoon, 3:30, and it is the day before tax day. So please, today's the day you want to laugh a lot because tomorrow you might be crying a little bit. I don't know. I'm not going to be crying because I had to take an extension on my taxes. Anyways, we are here in Northeast Ohio, and I saw Paul put something out about what he was going to talk about today. But Paul, I'm going to be real honest, I didn't even read it. I just looked at it and said, I'm going to ask Paul, what are we talking about today, buddy?
Holy smoke, boy! It's a good thing I went to rehearsal. The Karen, thanks for that introduction. I appreciate it. Welcome everybody to What in the World, everybody's favorite weird news podcast. Real news, sometimes weird, always funny. That's our motto. I'm Paul Seaburn, your host. Thank you for joining us from wherever you found out about What in the World, whether it's from our friends over at Cleveland 13 News. We appreciate the exchange of whatever we're exchanging.
Media.
Marketing. Yeah, there you go. With Channel 13, and we'll be having more things to talk about with them as the year goes on. If you came from Facebook, I do post links to the podcast, and also I test out jokes there. So thanks so much if you join us from there. Send me information, send me some mail. Let us know that you're joining us from there. If you're one of my old customers my old readers from Mysterious Universe, thanks for joining us from there as well. I think I still have some links up there the last time I looked. So wherever you're coming to us from, whether it's the like Spotify platform or another audio platform or YouTube, we like to mention YouTube. There's links on the show notes and at newclevelandradio.net where you can find out how to get the video on YouTube. We recommend that because I have some photographs that go along with the news stories, and those are always fun to take a look at. Plus, you can see what lovely people we are as well. And speaking of lovely people, let's start with the first voice you heard in your ear. That would be Karen Hale, our producer, co-host, and media mogul at newclevelandradio.net, our platform. Visit newclevelandradio.net for information on how to download us, and also how to download all of the various podcasts that Karen is producing, all different varieties of podcasts. We're the only comedy one, so don't go looking for more comedy. But for self-help and just interesting conversation, that I'll say that's the great place to go. Also, it's the place to find out about Yes I Can Coaching with Karen's coaching service, and one of our sponsors. Check that out as well. Let's see. I think that if you want more information on the show, again, newclevelandradio.net, or visit my Facebook page or my website, paulseaburn.com. Okay. The other voice you may have heard in your other ear is none other than our other co-host, color commentator, host of What in the World of Sports, and my old buddy, John DiNallo. Hi, John. How you doing?
Hey, hi, Paul and Karen and audience. It's a great day in Cleveland, and it's a great day for a good show. I know that Paul's put together a very, very good program for us today. So looking forward to hearing it, Paul.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You should have come to rehearsal. Then you would have heard about it there. I wasn't at rehearsal either, so I'm looking at this the first time myself. Let's see. What do we got? What are we talking about today? Every week I spend time, and John as well, looking for stories to talk about during the week. People ask me this, don't you get tired of it? No, of course not. The stories are weird, they're funny, they're strange. It's a love to do it. But other people say, uh, how are you able to top last week? I have no explanation for that. I think we just live in a weird world, and it just keeps getting more and more weird, and that's what we do is we bring you the latest and greatest in weirdness and have a good time doing it. So speaking of weirdness, let's see. Oh, I've got a story about a grandmother who knows how to hang in there. You're going to find out what that means. A runner who loves her t-shirts. Now, she really loves her t-shirts, and you'll see what I mean there. I've got some clowns with a grudge. And John, for you, I also have clowns in sports. So this is an interesting story, I think.
Oh, wow. That sounds interesting, Paul, for sure. Good.
For the ladies out there, I've got some prehistoric purses. Wait till you see what they're making purses out of these days. The world's best radio station, and that's not just my opinion, but the opinion of many people. The world's best radio station ever is returning. The world's worst snack comes to us from the United States. Wait till you hear this one, John. This is one you can relate to.
Okay.
People who live with mall rats. Why would they do that? Stay tuned and find out. Plus, we've got some more odd news. We've got world records. I got a ton of world records this week. I've got some good trivia, so John, be on your toes, and everybody out there as well. John's got a strange sport for us, and then we play everybody's favorite weird news game, Bluff the Co-host. So you'll want to stick around for that. All right, enough of the promos. Let's get right to the story, and we'll start with I had a trivia. Karen mentioned something when and I triggered a trivia question for John. You said that it was Tuesday afternoon. John, what band recorded the song Tuesday Afternoon?
I'm gonna have to say the Moody Blues.
There you go. All right. John's 1-0 right for the first trivia right off the bat here. So let's see how you do. All right, we've got a world record here. Here's another question for you, John. Do you know what the dead hang position is?
The dead hang position?
Dead hang position. Now, before you give me a hard time, there's nothing sexual about it. Although I asked a married friend of mine about if she had ever heard of the dead hang position, and she said, "Yeah, that's the position you take when your husband wants to have sex more than once a year."
Oh, okay.
Wow. Paul, I'll tell you what, I'm drawing a blank on that. I'm sorry.
So do you know? I lost my voice there first. Do you know what the dead hang position is?
No, I don't. In fact, as I said, I'm blank on that one. I really can't come up with an idea.
Let's get our photos up here, Karen. Are we ready to do this?
We should be.
I'm not. Everybody just talk among yourselves here because I did not have my. This is no wonder.
No, we're sharing. We can share.
Yeah. Oh, I know we can, but I don't have my
Well, then you're not getting paid this week.
This was okay. So I was explaining here, and I had. Oh, here we go. Here we go. This looks good. Let's see. Okay. All right. So Karen, let's knock that down. Everybody, I hope you're still here. Yeah. If you're
we're still here.
Let's see if I got. Oh, there. Let's see. What is that? It? No.
And people on Facebook can see this too because I'm.
How about that? Does that look good?
There we go. Yeah.
I lost my sound again. This is not good. We're having a storm in Northeast Ohio, so we might be having some difficulties as well here. Okay. Whoa, there we go. Okay, so there's our logo. Here's one of our other sponsors, my new book, What Would You Say to a Naked Space Alien? Available at Amazon.com. Get more details at my website, paulseaburn.com. Okay, John, I know you've been waiting. I apologize to everybody out there for not having my photos up and ready to go, but we got them. So here, this lady, this is a grandmother. She's the world record holder for the oldest woman to hold the dead hang position. So John, you can see she's on what would be a kind of a chin-up bar.
Yeah. Okay.
Facing forward, and she's hanging barefoot. She's about at least maybe 7 or 8 inches above the ground. Would
Mhm.
you? Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. It looks like, yeah.
Yeah. Well, now this lady, her name is Anne Cray Esselstein. She set the Guinness World Record for the oldest person to hold one of these dead hang position. She suspended her whole body weight for 2 minutes and 52 seconds. Now that's pretty impressive for somebody our age. She is 90 years and 231 days old, or at least she was when
Really?
she said
Wow.
Wow.
about that. 90 years old. Um, to put this in perspective, I think most people who are 90 years old would be happy to be able to hold their bladder for 2 minutes.
Yeah, you're
Oh, that's a
right.
good point, Paul.
I'm so yeah. She has 10
Wow.
grandchildren, and I don't know how many great grandchildren, but her grandchildren all said they were really worried that she might hurt one of her wrists, especially the one that she signs the checks that she puts in their birthday cards. So
Uh,
you can tell, get in shape, Grandma. Don't hurt that
wow. Wow.
check signing wrist.
Yeah.
Uh, she lives in a senior apartment building, and apparently she goes and visits her friends because nobody there has a shower rod that isn't broken or bent in the middle. So I think she just wandering around, hanging around, as she might say. Now that's not chalk on her hands. She's holding her hands up to the camera. That is not chalk. It turns out her favorite training food at 90 years old is powdered donuts. So that's what she does. So John, there's hope for you. Powdered donuts are something you can eat and get a world record.
Well, I'll tell you what, though, I don't know if it's enough motivation for me to do the dead hang for over 2 minutes, is what you said? 2 minutes?
Yeah, 2 minutes and 52 seconds, almost 3 minutes. You know,
Wow.
Wow.
I can't even do a plank for a minute, and this lady's hanging from a bar for 3 minutes. This is just
Yeah, really.
yeah, yeah. She lifts weights too. She's a fitness bump. She lifts weights. Um, she's the only woman at that senior apartment building who can open the childproof pill bottles. So
Right. Yep.
very popular among both the men and the women there. Now,
Wow.
John, I checked this out. I was going to ask you, but I figured you might not know. The dead hang position has never been an Olympic sport. So, but
To my understanding, it's not been. I don't think
yeah,
so.
but there are some competitions. There are dead hang competitions held throughout the world, um, and they call them dead hang challenges. The main rule is no tickling. So,
Yeah, I bet.
Okay.
and I didn't know this, but physical fitness buffs and fitness professionals say that doing the dead hang is actually good for you. They say that the dead hang improves your shoulder mobility, strengthens your grip, and decompresses your spine. By hanging, you actively stretch your lats and your shoulders, which can relieve pain. They also help fix shoulder impingement and improve posture. I thought shoulder impingement is what I get on the freeway all the time when I start. I don't know. This is I'm almost thinking that we're almost too old to get a good advantage to doing this dead hang. But John, this would have been a great thing to do when we were in high school because it could get you ready for when you were sneaking out at night after your parents went to sleep and hanging from the window outside your bedroom window, drop down. You'd be in
Or the tree outside your window.
or the tree
Yeah.
outside your window. That's right. Yeah. The So I'm sure she doesn't do that. She's 90 years old. She can walk wherever she wants to go. But congratulations to you, Anne, on getting that record. 90 years old, 3 minute dead hang position.
Love it. Yep.
Yeah. All right. While we're on the subject of sports records, here's another one. This lady's name is Meredith Smith. This was a very popular story on my Facebook page this past week. So Meredith Smith is a runner, and She just set a Guinness World Record. She ran a half marathon, but not just any half marathon. She set the Guinness World Record for the most T-shirts worn when completing an entire half marathon. That's 13.1 miles. There's a picture of her with the T-shirts and without the T-shirt. Now, it's a clean picture before you get all you dirty-minded people out there. She ran in the Fort Smith half marathon. No relation between Fort Smith and Meredith Smith. She was wearing 55 T-shirts.
Whoa.
Yes, for 3 hours and 28 minutes. Now that's a decent time for, there's a lot of people would be happy to run a half marathon in 3 hours and 28 minutes. She ran it while wearing 55 T-shirts.
Wow.
Yeah. She set another record for the most people of either sex who she passed and they gave her the finger. I can see, I've run marathons and half marathons myself. If somebody wearing 55 T-shirts passed me up, I'd be pretty upset about it as well. At the finish line, you see how bulky she is. She actually got a marriage proposal from the Michelin Man. So
okay.
she was hot, yeah. The hot in more ways than one, I guess. Yeah. The toughest part, she said, was pinning her bib through all of the 55 T-shirts, because to be officially counted, you have to have it connected to all of your T-shirts. So those must have been massive safety pins that she was using. Now, you may be asking, why would she do something like this? Did she lose a bet? No, actually, she did it to lose weight. Turns out that 55 is an important number for Meredith. In fact, 80. She originally wanted to wear 80 T-shirts, and 80 is even more important because she lost 80 pounds by running, and she wanted.
Wow.
Yeah, and not only did she lose 80 pounds, Karen, she also ran in 80 races during that time. So it was a number of years. So she wanted to wear all 80 of her T-shirts, but it just took too long to put them on and take them off.
Exactly.
She says so. She did 50. She found out what the record was, and 55 was the record. 3 hours and 28 minutes was the time, which I think is about how long it took her to take all the, or at least to put all the shirts on.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. And in the right order, because she has to put the tight ones on first, and then the ones from when she was 80 pounds heavier, that's the last one that she puts on.
Got it.
Yeah, she did have at one point she had a rubber shirt on top of all 55 of them, so that if she did trip and fall over, she'd bounce right back up again. I guess you have to see it to get that one.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And that's not sweat, by the way, that she's dripping. She the poor thing with all those shirts on, she can't bend her arms down to pick up a cup of water at the aid station. So she just opened her mouth and they try and throw it into her mouth. So, congratulations, Meredith, by the way. A lot of my running friends love that story. And it's just a great motivational story. So way to go. All right. Our next story is about clowns. So before I get started, there's a lot of people who are afraid of clowns. So I'll take a quick survey here. John, are you afraid of clowns?
I'm going to say no.
Circus clown. We're talking about circus clowns here, not
right. I'm going to say no.
No, Karen, how about you? You like clowns?
I used to like clowns, so I guess I'm not afraid of them. No.
Still do, yeah. There's a lot of people who say they're afraid of clowns to the point where there's a known medical condition, a name for the phobia of fearing clowns, and that is coulrophobia. Coulrophobia, Coulro phobia. The affects both children and adults. Comes from the inability to read facial expressions when, because clowns have makeup on, heavy makeup, and that heavy makeup, because they can't see the facial expression, doctors say it gives them feelings of distrust, fear, and discomfort. Now, I've felt that way, but not with clowns, but Hollywood actresses with all the makeup that they put on at the here's one. Here's one. Lady Gaga. You know, Lady Gaga wears more makeup than like 4 or 5 women combined. This I tried to find a picture of her with it really caked on. This one doesn't look too bad. The other one that I thought of was Cher. Now you can look at the eye makeup on her. That had to take an hour to put on at least. And this I'm sure that's a very old picture of Cher. But anyways, coolophobia. Coolophobia comes from 2 words: phobia, which means fear of, and coolro, which means Cleveland who pick people who pick up elephant poop. So it's
Oh boy.
fear of people who pick up elephant poop. Now, John, we went to Catholic school. We talked about this all quite often on What in the World. We both had nuns throughout our 8 years of Catholic elementary education. I'm not afraid of clowns because there's nothing scarier than nuns. And I think even clowns are afraid of nuns. I found a picture of a clown and a nun here. Here they are. So there's.
Oh, geez.
I think I'd be. I think I had that nun in 4th grade. The scary nun there, but she looks scarier than that clown right there. So anyways, the reason why we're talking about this is that there was a clown protest in Bolivia, in La Paz, Bolivia, which I believe is the capital of La Paz. Here's the clowns. They're protesting. They got balloon animal hats on and makeup and all kind of goofy stuff. They marched through the streets of La Paz to protest a government decree that banned schools from hiring clowns for entertainment. Yeah. Which they said this is one of the their best sources of income. If they can't perform at school, where are they going to perform? So they went out and they protested the government banning them. They even tried to cut a deal with the government. They said, if you let us keep our jobs, we'll show the bus drivers how to cram 10 times as many kids into the school bus. And
okay, got that.
They could save money. So, John, can if the government bans clowns, think about it. Who's going to run for office?
Hey, we're getting into a little bit of a political arena, Paul and Karen, sorry. But that's okay. No, that's fine. It's
good to keep our audience on their toes. Joke there. That's not exactly.
No. Well, yeah.
But I can see their point. It's tough. It's tough being a clown. Tough out there being a clown these days. John, here's another trivia question for you. Can you think of a sports team, any genre, baseball, football, lacrosse, you name it, college, pro, whose mascot is a clown? Can you think of one?
I'm gonna say I got a blank on this one also, Paul and Karen. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Either, so I went digging, and I had to really dig deep. I found one professional baseball team that was called the Clowns. In fact, their name was the Indianapolis Clowns. The Indianapolis Clowns were a Negro League team back from the 1930s until the 1980s. They were actually around until the 1980s.
Wow.
They were a barnstorming Negro League team. They were also in the league before they started barnstorming. They were one of the best teams in the league. I think I have there's their logo there. You can see the clown shoes there and the name Indianapolis Clown. Not only were they one of the best teams and the only team that I could find with the clown mascot, they were considered to be the Harlem Globetrotters of baseball. They were just phenomenal. They had fun out there. They did all kinds of tricks. So they were very entertaining. They're like those bananas guys that are going
Savannah
around.
Bananas.
Savannah Bananas, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Well, these guys did it first, and they did it for 50 years. So those guys have a long
Wow.
running. Yeah, yeah. Not only that, Karen, they were the first professional baseball team to hire a female player. Her name was Toni Stone, and in 1953 they hired her to play second base, and she batted 243.
Whoa.
Yeah, the only woman in the league. She batted 243. It was reported that during an exhibition game in 1953, she hit a single off of a fastball thrown by none other than Cleveland sports icon Satchel Paige.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's interesting. Wow.
it's unbelievable. So they were called the Harlem Globetrotters of baseball. They also had a Harlem Globetrotter on the team at one time. You'll remember this name, John. Goose Tatum. Goose
I remember
Tatum.
Goose Tatum. Yes.
Goose Tatum also played baseball for the Indianapolis Clowns before he played basketball for the Globetrotters. Future major leaguers who played for the Clowns, John Wyatt, who played for the Kansas City Athletics. You'll remember this name, Paul Casanova, Washington.
Remember Paul Casanova? Yes.
Hal King played for the Atlanta Braves. And here's another one. You can't forget this nickname. Choo Choo Coleman played for the New York Mets. Before that, he played for the Indianapolis Clowns. So,
Okay.
Oh, interesting.
what a great story. Yeah, I was, we were busy talking about clowns, and all of a sudden, this was a hugely popular and famous team at the time in the Negro baseball leagues, which we just don't talk about anymore. So, I hope they get some recognition at the Baseball Hall of Fame
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
I thought that was really interesting there. So, okay. Growing up, John, what was your favorite radio station in Cleveland, Ohio? Do you remember the call letters?
Yes, I do. Wixie 1260.
Wixie 1260, that's right. Mine as well. Karen, what was yours in Michigan or Minnesota? Which one?
Oh, CKLW.
CKLW.
Yeah.
It's CKLW broadcast. We heard CKLW, Karen, in
Yeah.
Cleveland. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, everybody's got a favorite from their youth, but there was another station that was famous not just across the United States, but around the world. And it became the favorite radio station of many, many, many people. And you'll understand why when I tell you the name, WKRP in Cincinnati.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
That was a sitcom back in 1978. WKRP in Cincinnati. It was based at a radio station that was switching from I don't remember what the format was before, but it was switching to rock, and they hired all new people. It was hilarious. It ran for 4 years, played all kind of modern rock music, which they couldn't get the rights for, so it never made it into syndication. But and it made famous the practice of not throwing food out of helicopters, because famous episode was a Thanksgiving episode when, as a promotion, they allegedly, they didn't show it on TV, pushed live turkeys out of a helicopter. And as the station manager said at the end, as God is my witness, I thought turkeys could fly.
Yeah.
Quite a mess. So people don't do that anymore. They don't throw much food out of helicopters. Although I have one I'll talk about in a second. So it turns out that there was a station called WKRP, but not in Cincinnati. I believe it was in New Jersey. And the owner of the WKRP call letters put them up for sale, and he made sure that someone in Cincinnati bought it. So WKRP will now be broadcasting from Cincinnati. I don't know what the format is. Yeah, okay. They wouldn't reveal who the people were, but the people became famous from this show. Lonnie Anderson became famous. She was the secretary. Howard Hessman was Dr. Johnny Fever. Tim Reed, Venus Flytrap. So people really got their start on WKRP in Cincinnati. Really a cool show. Now, Karen, there was a food drop, and in fact, there's an annual food drop in Michigan on Thanksgiving. It's not turkeys. What do you think? But it's it's something that won't necessarily hurt you. Do you know what that might be?
No idea. Never heard of it.
There's one promotion. I think it's a radio station. They drop marshmallows from.
Oh,
So that technically that shouldn't hurt. Although
no.
I can remember back in the day, John threw a marshmallow at me once and hit me in the chin, and he destroyed my dream of ever becoming a professional boxer after he.
Oh.
Well, I do recall that, Paul, as a matter of fact.
So WKRP was on from 1979 to 78 to 1982. Hugh Wilson was the creator, and he told the local local newspaper that the reason why he selected the call letters WKRP is because he wanted people to think that the call letters were W crap.
I've heard that before.
Have you?
Yes.
I never thought of that until I read that there.
Oh.
So here's a trivia question for you, John. Dr. Johnny Fever was played by who? Oh, I think I mentioned it. Howard Hessman.
Howard Hessman, yes.
Okay. What was Dr. Johnny Fever's real name? That was his radio name. What was his real name at another station?
Boy, I can't tell you. I'm not sure.
Tough one. John R. Caravella. Now, here's an easy. He was a veteran DJ, had worked all the big stations. He got in trouble, and because of that, the only place he could end up working is at this little place in Cincinnati. What did he say on the air? What word did he say that got him fired from his last job? Terrible word. Awful word, but we can say it on What in the World?
I don't know.
No idea?
No.
Booger. Booger was the
Oh my God.
Really? Oh my gosh.
It was a different time. It was a different
Yes,
time.
it was. Yep.
Tim Reed, this is another little trivia question for you. I know Tim Reed was one half of a comedy team out of Chicago called Tim and Tom. Tom Dreesen was the white guy, and Tim was the black comic. I know Tom through the comedy business, and they were hilarious. They were absolutely hilarious. They were one of the last of the comedy teams, and they used to play all the black clubs. Tom was one of the few white comedians who had experience playing on the Chitlin circuit and some of the other black comedy clubs back in that time frame. Tim went into acting and producing. Tom went on to be Frank Sinatra's opening act. So he didn't do too bad for himself either.
Hey, whatever happened to Bailey?
Pardon?
Whatever happened to Bailey?
Bailey, what's her name? She is still around. She's still an actress. I'll tell you, I think Les Nessman just passed away. Gary Sandy, I have some friends in California who know Gary. They see him occasionally. I think he's still acting. The Frank, the salesman, I think he passed away a couple years ago. And the station owner, I know he passed away a number of years ago. He was the Maytag repairman, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. I should have his name at my fingertips. I apologize to those of you out there trying to get some tips to win at your next trivia contest at the bar. Well, we'll get back in the swing of things. John and we have a trivia contest coming up in 2 weeks, so we're trying to get ourselves in the swing of things as well. Okay, let's move. This is proof. This next story is proof that you hear about everything on What in the World. You get medical news, you get entertainment news, you also get fashion news. The this comes from Poland of all places, and it doesn't have anything to do with food, maybe, but there's an upscale Polish techwear label, and as my wife would say, I think that's an oxymoron, upscale in Polish, but you can say that because she's Polish. They have unveiled the world's first laboratory-grown Tyrannosaurus Rex leather handbag. So that's leather from a Tyrannosaurus Rex grown in a lab and then made into a handbag. Here's a lovely female Tyrannosaurus Rex holding one of the handbags in her mouth. I don't know how they did that. Boy, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
They really, they really did somehow get the DNA from a Tyrannosaurus Rex skin and use the techniques that they use to grow stuff in the lab, grow meat and thing, and they grew this leather that they made into the purse. I wouldn't want to be living next door to this place, and if I did, I'd have my Ring camera pointed directly at their front door, because if anything goes running out that door, I'm running in the opposite direction. So it's not a purse for a T-Rex, obviously. Here's the purse itself. It's a pretty stylish, Karen, don't you think? Kind of modern.
Yeah, sort of, yeah. But
Like,
who cares? I mean, who wants a dinosaur leather purse?
well, somebody does, Karen, and wait till you hear how much they paid for it.
Okay.
It was expected to sell at auction, and I think the auction was just held this week. $663,000. That's 663,000, six figures for one leather purse made from Tyrannosaurus Rex skin. That's a lot of money.
Yeah, I don't even like paying $20 for a purse.
I just think that's an indication that some people have too much money.
Too much money, John. I agree. So they said they tried to justify it. They said, well, it's really realistic. They said, if you hold the purse up to your nose, you can smell the smoke of the asteroid that killed the dinosaur.
No.
Yeah.
Now, that's a bit much, Paul, I think.
Too much, huh? They're actually planning to develop a full line of Tyrannosaurus Rex leather accessories. And you've heard of Louis Vuitton. This is going to be at the Louis 3-ton fashion.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I know. Where's my I debated doing that one, and I thought, oh, John will like it.
Well, at least they got the horn's attention.
So, yeah. So they didn't discard the meat. Apparently, there's some meat attached to this leather as they're growing it in the lab. So, this being Poland, they immediately sold it as Polish T-Rex sausage. I would buy. I would buy that. One link of Tyrannosaurus Rex sausage that could feed your entire tailgate party. Without too much. Yeah.
Provided they have enough beer.
It comes from Poland. There'll be enough beer.
Okay.
But I was thinking, as I do, and as someone who has made Polish sausage, you'd have to get these giant intestines or casings, as the nice word for them, in order to stuff all the T-Rex meat inside of them. And I don't know how big a T-Rex is, but I'm imagining that a T-Rex intestine would be about the size of those balloon men that they put out. Yeah,
wow, that's pretty big. That's pretty big.
Yeah, now I could see stuffing that. That'd be a nice size kielbasi. Now they said they're not trying to bring back the Tyrannosaurus Rex, so everybody should be calm down. They're not bringing back the dinosaur, because they said it'd be like the iguanas in Florida. The climate has changed, and who wants to be in a place where down in Florida, John knows the weather gets cold and the iguanas start falling out of trees.
Well, that's true. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If a Tyrannosaurus Rex freezes and falls over, it's like getting hit with a tree, not just falling
to say
out
the
of
least.
a tree.
Yeah.
But but they said, they have a lot of leather. It's not just for purses. They get big sheets of this leather. So they were thinking, maybe they could make some boots, like maybe Shaquille O'Neal would be interested in a T-Rex at the size. I thought, one of my favorite dinosaurs was the Stegosaurus with the spikes on its back. You remember those?
Oh, sure.
Yeah, they should grow that leather with the spikes on the back and make it into leather coats, which would be the perfect thing to wear when you're going on the subway or on the bus or in someplace in a dangerous neighborhood. Nobody's going to mess with you when you got a leather coat on with spikes all over it.
No, I would agree with you on that, Paul.
If you guys are listening, you know where you got that idea. Send me a 10%. Okay. If you lived in the 1960s through the 1990s, you spent an awful lot of time in shopping malls. And all of us, the three of us, and I know many of our listeners out there who are about the same age, you spent tons and tons and tons of time in the shopping mall from morning until night and maybe even sneaking in afterwards. You made friends there, you ate there, you got fat there, you raised your cholesterol eating all that garbage. You played video games. Everybody played video games. If you needed a job, you worked at the video game place so you could make enough money to feed your quarters right back into the video game. Shows you how old I am that I can still remember putting quarters into video games. I think now you have to have a card. You have to use your mom's credit card or something. And then, of course, there were the mall walkers. The people in the morning will walk in the mall for exercise. It was like morning of the living dead. There's these people that just rolled out of bed and they're exercising away over there. So if you loved the mall and you want to relive the experience, the oldest active mall, the oldest regular kind of shopping mall in the United States was closed, and now it's reopening. It's in Rhode Island, and they're turning it into apartments, little tiny apartments. They're I don't know how big they are. Here's a picture of the mall and the apartments. The rent on these little tiny apartments starts at $550 a month. And they tried to keep the ambiance of the mall. So you still felt like you were in a mall. For example, the bathroom doors in these little apartments come complete with names and phone numbers already written on them. So
Okay.
you remember that was one of the reasons why you went to the bathroom, to pick up some phone numbers. Maybe that was just you, John. That wasn't me.
Hey, I have no comment on that. I'm sorry.
It's so realistic. They said no matter what you make in the kitchen, it still smells like those Cinnabons. So, that smell permeated the entire mall. The Cinnabon. You don't need an alarm clock because they also pipe in the sound of mall walkers every morning. So, 6 o'clock or whatever time they like to show up, that's when you're going to wake up to the sound of seniors walking around. For the true mall experience, however, what they did was they filled the parking lot with fake cars. So you have to park a mile away.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's really like a real mall. Now, I put this on Facebook and some people said it looked like a prison. What do you think? Did that look like a prison?
Well, I'll tell you, it's not it's odd. Let's put it that way. It's odd.
Yeah.
I think they should have left a little more of the store essence. So, you kind of like knew that you were in a clothing store or a sporting goods store. But now it's an apartment. As I was researching this, I went to see what was considered to be the first shopping mall in the United States. John, you know where the first shopping mall was in the United States?
Hey, I'm going to take a guess. I'm going to say the great state of New Jersey.
The great state of New Jersey. No, I don't know if I'd even call it the great state of New Jersey. But the first shopping mall was actually in the great state of Ohio, in the great city of Cleveland, Ohio.
Arcade.
That's right, the arcade.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Downtown Cleveland. Yeah. The first indoor shopping center, May 1890 was when it opened. recognized as the first indoor shopping center in the United States, known as Cleveland's Crystal Palace. I should have had a picture of it for people who aren't familiar with it. Financed, I didn't know this. It was financed by John D. Rockefeller. The first store. Karen, I'll ask you this one. What two streets does the arcade connect? Do you know?
Isn't it Huron and I don't remember the other street.
John, you know the streets?
Because there's two arcades, downtown.
Yeah, but this is
So,
the main
this is
one.
bigger. I'm going to say it's going to connect Euclid and Superior.
Superior is correct, and Euclid is correct. Very good. What was the first store? The first store was actually a Spencer's, the original Spencer's, and this is 1890, so they didn't have black lights for the. So they sold black candles with their posters. That's how old it was. All right, they didn't do that, but I thought I'd end with that joke. Okay, here's a one last story, a sports story, not a sports story, but a snack story for John. Regular listeners of the show know that one of John's favorite snacks is Pringles. Loves to eat those stacks of Pringles, right, John?
That is very true, Paul. Yes.
Well, I've got a new way for you to eat Pringles. This is going viral across the United States right now. It's called chocolate Pringles. Now, this is not individual Pringles covered with chocolate. You take an entire can of Pringles, you open it up, you melt a Pyrex dish full of chocolate, Hershey's, whatever your favorite is, and then you pour the entire chocolatey mess into the can of Pringles. Then you put it in your refrigerator until it's solid. You peel the can off, and you end up with a block of solid chocolate Pringles that looks just like that right there. Good. Doesn't that look tasty,
No.
John?
I don't know. I think that's very different, obviously. I might be inclined to try it. It might be okay.
Let me warn you, John, before the eating this, I believe putting the chocolate in like this invalidates the warranty on the Pringles, and it probably also invalidates the warranty on your heart medicine.
Yeah.
Be careful if you do try this. Why would somebody gnaw on a giant block of chocolate Pringles? You've obviously never eaten Pringles by the stack, which is the way the pros eat their Pringles. So this is just another way of making a stack.
Okay.
What? Yeah, chocolate cup. There are a number of people on Facebook said that they do like single chocolate covered chocolate potato chips, but this is a solid block of chocolate and Pringles, an entire can. So you pretty much have to eat the whole can. You're not gonna.
Do you have to eat the entire can
later.
in one setting? Wait, do you have to eat the entire can? Do you have to eat the entire can in one sitting?
Right. Yes. And then and then you have to do like the women we talked about. Then you have to dead hang for 3 minutes.
If you can. If you can.
And then put 55 t-shirts on and run a half marathon. And maybe you'll lose some of the weight you gained. And on that note, so you say you'd try it, John?
I don't know. I might try that. I mean, I love chocolate. I love Pringles, obviously. Put together as a combination, I don't know.
Okay.
People
well,
will have to stay tuned. People stay tuned for the next several weeks, and I can let you know if I've tried it or not.
Oh no, you can't try it and not do it on the show. You can make it, but then you have to bring it on the show. We want to see you gnawing on this cylinder of solid chocolate and Pringles.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, I'll tell you what, in that case, let me rethink that. Let me just rethink that.
All right. Well, I think that has brought us to the end of my portion of What in the World, and that means it's time for What in the World of Sports with John DiNallo. Regular listeners of the show know that John and I have known each other since college. We met on probably the second day of school. We're fraternity brothers. We've been friends ever since. John knows more about sports and trivia than anybody else I know, so he's the perfect guy to be host of What in the World of Sports. Every week I challenge him to come up with a sport that fits the description, real sports, sometimes strange, always or weird, always funny. And John manages to do it every week. He's got another one this week with a local twist. So, John, tell us about your sport.
Oh, thank you, Paul, for the introduction. I appreciate that. Our sport this week is combat archery. Yes, you heard that correctly. Combat archery. And as Paul indicated, there is a local connection to this sport. Believe it or not, my niece actually plays a version of this sport at this time. Now, if you happen to be a fan of the Hunger Games or the TV series Arrow, you may secretly want to try that type of archery. Well, now you can, thanks to Dodgebow. Let me explain. Dodgebow is a company founded to bring combat archery sports to the city of Montreal, Canada. Interest was so high in Montreal that the company quickly opened Dodgebow facilities in Toronto, the US, and 30 other countries. At last count, there are 331 Dodgebow locations worldwide, including a few in Ohio. All you have to do is Google combat archery and you'll find the information. Now, what is combat archery exactly? It is a combination of dodgeball and paintball, but using bows and arrows. Let's get one thing clear right up front. The arrows have foam tips, and the players wear face masks and arm guards. Of course, you will still need to sign a waiver and release form, and there is a 15-minute orientation where the rules are explained and where participants then practice their shooting. Now, the field and rules of the game are similar to those of dodgeball and paintball. There are two teams with a maximum of 10 players each in a field of 5,000 square feet, so that's a pretty large area.
Yeah.
The game period lasts 45 minutes, and in that period, 5 to 6 games can be played up to 8 minutes each, with a short pause in between for rule clarifications. I mean, they have to be on the up and up, so that's why you have that. Now, there's 5 types of combat archery games. The first one is bullseye, where targets are placed on either side of the playing field. For a team to win, players must strike out all players on the opposing team or hit the enemy targets before time runs out. Loyalty is another type, where a player is struck by an arrow of the opposite team. That when a player is struck by an arrow of the opposing team, they must cross the arena and join the opposing team. The team that crosses over the most players wins. Man down is another type, and that's when a player is struck out. Instead of leaving the playing field, they sit on the ground. A special medic player equipped with only a shield is granted the power to revive eliminated players. If the medic is struck out, the team loses the ability to revive any of its players. There is also capture the flag. Excuse me. There are 6 flags, 3 per team, and they're set up in the safe zone across the arena. Teams must successfully capture and carry the opposing team's flag back to their base in order to win. The last type is golden arrow, where 6 golden arrows are introduced onto the playing field. Golden arrows can strike out multiple players, and they can be players can be knocked out by bouncing off of obstacles. So it's a pretty loose version of the sport. Now, you don't need to be skilled with a bow and arrow to get a great and fun workout playing combat archery at Dodgebow. I guess you could say this is one Hunger Game where the only goal is to work up an appetite.
Oh.
I don't know about that. It sounds like a fun sport, I'm sure, for people far younger than us.
Well, like my niece, of course, is far younger than us.
Yeah.
But she enjoys playing it. Yeah, this has
It
been
looks
for a
like
couple of
it'd
years
be a
she's
good
playing it.
workout. Yeah, especially a
Yeah.
lot of running around and pulling the bow and bending over to pick up arrows and all that, or bending over to pull the arrow out of your butt. I'm not sure what.
Well, don't forget
Wow.
about the paintball feature as well. Don't forget about the paintball feature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting that this I couldn't find um that game that you mentioned, Dodge Bow, but there's some other variations of it as well that we got the pictures from here. So interesting sport, John. That
Mhm.
combat archery, where nobody gets hurt, and if you can tell where you got shot by the blob of paint on your chest.
Yeah,
Yep.
combat seems to be kind of a strong word, right? I don't know if that's quite
I
the,
suppose, yeah.
but
Wow.
that's the general category is combat
Yeah,
archery.
yeah.
Yeah.
You
So
know, this seems like a fairly modern sport. Paintball seems to be a pretty modern sport as well. But I was thinking back to our college days, and I remember there was once a challenge by one of the other fraternities to the rest of the fraternities on campus for something that they call, I think they called it paint archery. There was no such thing as paintball. I think they were just dipping the arrows into paint so that you could see where the arrow stuck. Obviously we couldn't get permission to do that, and there was not enough beer for us to do it. But but it inspired an idea of a competition which we called paint throwing. Do you remember that, John? Paint throwing?
this is this is one of the few sports I do remember, Paul. So please elaborate for our
Yeah,
audience.
yeah. So basically, you just got little cans of paint, and you threw them at each other. There's John and
My
I
goodness.
training, training. I'm not sure what wall that we were standing against, throwing paint at each other to get ready for this big competition, and we thought we were pretty good at it. And the competition started. Here's that might be John. I'm not sure. He's covered with paint, so it could be just about anybody. Then we thought we were doing pretty well, but unfortunately, the I think we mentioned this, that when we were in school, that was when they first opened our college. Our college was originally men only. They opened it to women, and so they decided, to be in the interest of fairness, to open it to the sororities. And sure enough, those sorority girls, they really knew how to throw the paint.
Whoa.
So
Yeah.
yeah, this is one of the sorority girls just flinging paint at this poor guy. I'm not sure who he was, but and not really getting that much on her stylish little cocktail dress there either. So we so
Glad it was not that guy.
yeah, the good, we lost to the sorority. The good news is that we saved the wall. We took pictures of the wall behind us, and I believe that we all got A's in art class as a result of
Beautiful. Yeah.
Little
yeah,
avant-garde
yeah,
artwork there. Yes.
one of those classes we called basket weaving. All right, paintball archery, great sport, John. Thanks so much for that.
Thank
Yeah, you're
you.
welcome, Paul. Yeah.
All right. So everybody knows that we've reached the end of What in World of Sports. That means it's time for Bluff the co-host, everybody's favorite weird news game. Rules are simple for this game that's sweeping the country, sweeping the world. I have 3 stories similar to the ones we've been talking about all afternoon. One big difference: those stories were real. These stories may be real, may be a bluff, and it's up to John, Karen, and all of you playing at home to decide real or bluff. Wagering is allowed, so place your bets. John and Karen, hands on the buzzer. Let's get right to story number 1. Fans of Greek mythology will tell you that a centaur is a hybrid creature with the upper body of a human and the lower body of a horse, and it symbolizes the struggle between civilization and barbarism. Fans of centaurs who would like to be a half human and half horse now can, as a company in China has invented a robotic horse's you-know-what that you attach to your own you-know-what and turn yourself into a real centaur. The Centaur butt bot, as they call it, gives you extra legs for carrying things and can even help you push you up a steep hill. However, it still looks like half of a robot horse, so you have to find a horse costume to wear over it to go full Centaur. The company is getting orders from warehouses who think this will beat up humans filling orders. Okay, so if you want to become a human Centaur, half human, half robot, half horse, there's a robotics company in China that will facilitate it for you. Real or bluff? Karen, we'll start with you.
I certainly hope this is a bluff. This sounds like yeah, it just does not sound like something I would like to do. So bluff.
Oh, okay. You wouldn't like to do it, so it's a bluff. All right, John, what do you say?
I agree with Karen. I think this is a bluff, and it's a very strange idea. I mean, the way that I hear this, you have a robot horse that you then have to be able to convert or put something on to make it look like a real horse. Oh, it's just too contrived for me, Paul. Too contrived.
Okay. So John says it's the bluff. It's a horse's butt. It's not the whole horse. It's just the butt, and it
Yeah,
attached
yeah.
That's I get that. That's enough. That's enough for me.
All right. So both Karen and John say that's a bluff. Everybody else out there, make your choice. The judges say congratulations go to no one. That is a real story.
Oh, yes, ridiculous.
Do you have photos of this, Paul? Do you
Yeah,
have
they're on the
information
internet,
that we can
John. I know.
find?
I had one lined up and I forgot to put it in my file. So just Google robot centaur and you'll see it. Yeah,
I'm gonna write that down. Robot Centaur.
Robot centaur. It looks kind of kinky, kind of.
Oh
But
boy.
you know, people in China, they've got money. They'll buy anything. So okay, score is 0-0. Let's get right to story number 2. The Masters tournament last weekend was a hit as always, but golf courses around the world are worried about getting new players into the game. That's why one course in Scotland is testing a new kind of competition called synchronized golf. In sync golf, teams are made of 2 players who tee off together and score points based on how close their balls land to each other. Teams are also awarded style points for matching their swings. The teams get an extra point if they get both balls in the hole in less strokes than their opponents. Golf course owners are hoping Sync Golf will double the number of new golfers and eventually get a big TV contract. The course in Brazil even asked Rory McIlroy to form a team and try out for Sync Golf, but Rory said nobody can match his sweet swing. Okay, so Sync Golf, a new way to get people to come and play golf where 2 players, like synchronized swimming, swing the clubs together and play the course together. Real or bluff? John, sportsman, we'll start with you.
Well, I'll tell you what, Paul and Karen and audience, I think this is a real story, and I can see that. I mean, it's relatively believable in my opinion. So I'm going to say it's real.
Sync Golf. John says it's a real story. Karen, how about you?
Yeah, I think people like to be like more competitive like that. So yeah, I'm gonna say good story. True.
Synchronized golf. Karen says it's true. John says it's true. Everybody out there, make your choice. We check with the judges, and the judges say whoever made up that story made up a good one because it's a bluff.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
really?
You are
Now,
on
do
a
you
roll
think that?
today.
Yeah. Do you think that this might be
Synchronized golf.
something
Come
that?
on.
Wait a second. Do you think that maybe this might spur someone to think about doing
Well,
this now?
as always, John, they heard
We'll
it
have to
first.
we'll have to stay tuned, everyone.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Wow.
That's right. Wow. So the score, this is unusual. The score is 0-0. Neither John nor Karen have gotten any right here. Points are double in round number 3. So we'll either have a tie or a winner. Let's see what we come up with. Diners eating outside at seashore restaurants know to be on the lookout for seagulls stealing French fries and more. But people in Scotland fear their seagulls have gone crazy after an Easter egg hunt on a town square was attacked by a flock of seagulls that witnesses claim were acting in a coordinated way, where one group would attack the kids while another swooped in to steal the eggs. They counted 16 of these vicious coordinated attacks before all of the eggs were either eaten, stolen, or smashed, and the crazed seagulls flew away in search of another Easter egg hunt. Scottish wildlife officials are asking any other Easter egg hunts with similar seagull strikes to report them so they can prepare an app for next year to track them. They can't kill the birds, and they can't decorate the eggs to look like something seagulls don't like to eat, because they like to eat everything. It's Easter, so the best they can do for now is forgive the gulls and pray that they move away. All right, so seagulls in Scotland ruining Easter egg hunts by attacking kids and stealing the eggs to the point where the wildlife officials need to do something before next year. Real or bluff? Karen, we'll start with you.
Well, seagulls can be vicious. So what the heck? Great story. I'm going to say it's real.
Oh, okay. The seagulls can be vicious. Yeah, that's a word to the wise. Okay, Karen says it's real. John, how about you?
Well, I'll tell you what, honestly, I'm torn on this one. I mean, I could see that it's a bluff, or I could see that it's real. I'm going to say it's a bluff. I'm going to
Oh,
say it's a
John,
bluff.
I thought I saw you flipping a coin there. John says it's a bluff. Wow, he disagrees with Karen on this one. Karen says that Easter egg stealing seagulls are real. John says it's a bluff. Let's check with the judges. And the judges say, congratulations, this week go to Karen. That is a real story. Yes.
Well,
I'm
congratulations,
sorry,
Karen.
John.
Good. No, that's okay. That's all
Crazed
right.
seagulls. Yep. I think we saw
Wow.
crazed seagulls open for the birds back in the
Yeah,
day. Or the
wow.
eagles.
I'm not gonna touch that one.
It was a double bill, the birds and the eagles. All right. Well, congratulations, Karen. That means John will be studying his flashcards this week to get ready for next week's Bluff the co-host. I hope
Yeah,
all
I'm
of you
really.
had, yeah, hope all of you had better luck than John had in your answers as well. So, wow, we've reached the end of another episode of What in the World. I want to thank Karen Hale, our producer, co-host, media mogul at newclevelandradio.net. Thank you, Karen, for everything that you do for our show and for all the other great podcasts at newclevelandradio.net. Please, everyone, check them out. While you're there, check out how to download our show, how to get in contact with Karen for her coaching services at Yes I Can Coaching. Find out more information about Cleveland 13 News, our partner, in some future endeavors. Do you want more information on my book, What Would You Say to a Naked Space Alien? Go to paulseaburn.com for more info, or Amazon. And as always, we love hearing from you. So send me messages on Facebook, send Karen messages on Facebook, also through our various websites as well. So thank you, Karen. Thank you, John, for putting up with me for another week and
Oh,
co-host.
it's always a blast to do the show, Paul and Karen
Yeah.
and audience. It's
Even
one of
when
the
John
highlights of my
has to work
week.
those flashcards, he's still happy.
Oh yeah, well I'll tell you what, we'll be doing a lot of studying this week. That's for sure.
Sure you will be. Yep.
Yep.
Well, there's not too many. The playoffs don't start until next week, so you got some time for before the Cavaliers start playing in the playoff games, and
That's correct. Sure,
yeah,
sure.
and it's still early in the season for baseball, so you got plenty of time, John. You'll be ready next week.
I'm hoping so.
There you go. And as always, I want to thank everyone out there listening. Thank you so much for tuning into What in the World. You're the reason why we put this podcast together. We've been doing it. This is our 9th year. Please tell your friends. Karen's got some information on the website on some other ways that you can help us out. So please check that out as well. And again, just tell your friends. Have a good time. That's the goal of our show. We certainly have a good time. It's therapy for us. We hope it's therapeutic for you as well. Laughter is truly the best medicine.
Absolutely.
So for an hour a week, we provide it. And on
You
that
can go
note,
back and
I
listen
think-
over
oh,
and over again too.
I lost my sound here, Karen. What was that again?
Okay, I said they can keep listening to it over and over again. Just keep restreaming. He can't hear
Yes,
me.
keep
Oh,
streaming.
there he goes.
Yeah,
Okay.
all that good stuff, right?
All right, everybody. Thank you. Check out the show notes. Talk to you soon.